Welcome to TechLux. Please support our channel by leaving a thumbs up and subscribing. Having a mansion is definitely a sign of money, and owning a private jet lets everyone know how well you're rolling in with cash. But there's one thing that rises above luxury than anything else, and that's being able to buy your very own private island. Taking it easy in the sun with a drink in hand, miles away from the nearest person may sound like a dream. Today, we're going to figure out how much it really costs and try to find an answer to the big question. Is owning a private island really worth it? I'm sure you have dreams about the cabanas in the white sand. There might be even a golf course on the north side of the island. But the first step is to find the ideal place to lay a foundation on to make those dreams come true. With that being said, how much your island costs can change drastically depending on where you buy. For example, Canada has the most number of private islands that can be bought in the world. You can buy an island for less than $200,000. You can even buy an island for just under $100,000. For $65,000, it will get you half an island in Nova Scotia. For less than half the price of your average house, you can buy the 6 acres land that is less than 1 mile away from the mainland. But there is a catch that comes with that price. I mean, sure, $65,000 is a great amount for your own little bit of heaven. In the summer at least. But in winter, temperatures around half island can get as low as negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The island is only possible to live during the summer. And even during the summer, getting groceries can be a pain. When you're thinking of a private island, you probably are not thinking of cold places far away. You're thinking of locations with sandy beaches and palm trees, where flip-flops are considered to be formal attires. You're thinking of the Caribbean, made up of thousands of islands with hills and sand that spreads out with beaches and crystal clear waters. The Caribbean is an incredible place to build the tropical oasis of your dreams, and there are plenty of choices to pick from. Surprisingly, the prices aren't actually that overwhelming. Whether if you're willing to settle for a smaller piece of land that's more remote, you can snag an island between $1 and $3 million. But if you want a bigger island in one of the most popular, desirable areas in the Caribbean, well, that price can anywhere be between $30 to $100 million. Some of the most well-known island groups consist of the Exumas, the Abaco Islands, and the Berry Islands. Islands in these chains in particular offer something that remote islands don't. They're close to bigger towns and cities, making it easier for visiting guests and owners. Take for example the Spectabilis Island. The length of the island is 460 acres, which includes dozens of white sand beaches with hilltop views and a lot of potential building space. It's only 230 miles away from Miami and a mere 60 miles from the capital. It's expensive, but it's easily accessible and also has the added benefits of being able to say yes. Then, there are more farther away areas of the Caribbean, like the Little Ragged Island, a 700-acre island on the market for $35 million. Compared to Spectabilis, you can get almost double the land for well half the price, and that's not all. Little Ragged Island has 2 ponds, which means you have access to drinking water. It has 30,000 feet of coastline, and you really have that 5.6 miles of shoreline to yourself, because the 110-mile-long Ragged Island chain is incredibly underdeveloped, with only one small town that has a population of 72 people. In other words, you might as well not buy this island if you may have any desire to visit a nearby local nightclub or dine at a fancy restaurant. Across all these price ranges, these islands have something in common. They're not fully formed at first, which may not seem like a big deal if you have enough cash to buy a private island. Then surely building a house on the said island should not be a problem, right? Well, not really. Because when you buy a private island, you're not only paying for the land to build a house on. No. There's a lot more that goes into it. First, you have to figure out if you even can build on the island. Places like the Caribbean have strict environmental laws on building because the environment of the area is so fragile there. An environmental impact study needs to be done before you make any changes of the island you've purchased. And the environmental impact study doesn't come cheap. It will cost you at least $50,000. These environmental laws are also common in Canada, where endangered animals may call the lake and ocean islands home. In Ontario, specifically, you're only allowed to build if there is more than an acre of buildable land on the island, meaning grabbing a tiny island for the price for your monthly paycheck isn't actually worth it, unless you really feel like camping. On top of the expensive environmental research that takes place before you build there are many environmental protection laws that will make it harder for the cost of your build. Things like how you get water, how you generate power, how you access the island are greatly regulated in order to keep the lakes and oceans beautiful. So remember how much that will cost, in addition to the standard cost of building a home. But all environmental stuff aside, there are lots of other things to figure out. Firstly, getting building supplies to the island, which is expensive. Along with the building supplies, you'll need to get heavyweight building equipment on the island, which requires particular boats. And once you've dropped thousands of dollars to get the supplies to your front door, you must have skilled workers to do the work, like plumbers and electricians and construction workers on the island daily. If your island is miles and miles away from the nearest town with hotels like Little Ragged Island is in the Caribbean, then you're looking at some huge costs just to get your building crew on site. Plus, you have to actually build a way for your favorite mode of transportation to reach the island. If you want to get the island quickly, well, you can build an airstrip, but most estimates put the cost at somewhere between more than $1 million. I mean, a helipad is a cheaper choice, or you could go with a dock for boats and access by seaplane, but you will still have to pay a pretty penny. Despite this, it's much easier to buy a developed island rather than an undeveloped one. Take Frozen Cay, located in the Berry Island chain of the Bahamas. The 40-acre island costs $17 million and is readily accessible by both boat and seaplane. It features white powder beaches, lush forests, and a 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom residence that is a huge 4,145 square feet. Oh, and there's also a heated swimming pool, obviously. In addition, there is an 806 square foot manager's cottage and a 1,534 foot staff cottage, as well as a marina that holds up to 100-foot long yachts. But Frozen Cay rings up yet another cost that goes along with private islands, and that's maintenance. If you can afford a private island, then most likely you're pretty busy with work and won't be able to spend all your time sipping piña coladas with your feet in the sand, leaving the home unoccupied. You could get squatters' break-ins and other problems, so having the island occupied and taken care of is a necessity. I've spent much of the video talking about how much it costs associated with having an island all for yourself. There's also the chance of making money when you're not occupying your home. Private island rentals are widely popular for the wealthy, including myself. Islands like Squanny Cay in the Bahamas cost at least $14,000 per day, but that's just for double occupancy. Every extra person costs $500 each per day. So bringing just 4 more people will cost you $16,000 per day at a minimum, not including gratuity. You can make some darn good money if Squanny Cay is rented out just as a double occupancy at the cheapest price for each day of the year, but the property will bring in at least $5 million. Here is the great thing about extra money that comes with owning a private island. But it would be wrong for me to not to mention the other benefits, which is simply owning a slice of paradise. Having your own escape miles and miles away from the nearest person is fun. Like no other, getting up and walking down to the beach that is yours, sipping wine in the deck, and standing overlooking the ocean in your underwear, if you want, because, well, it's your island, so you make the rules. There's all sorts of reasons that people dream of having a private island. That being said, it's time to answer the big question. Is owning a private island worth it? Well, I guess that's up to you to decide. Are the crazy costs, time-consuming regulations, and the painstaking moving of the cost of building materials and amenities worth lounging on an island you can call home? And if you had your own island, what would you name it? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.